Hi guys, welcome to my podcast this week. My name is Nicole and I'm the brains and beauty behind Yarn Craft by Nicole. You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram as well as on Ravelry and Etsy. I am a pattern designer, pattern tester, and a yarn ambassador for Wonderland Yarns. So to get started today, my featured make is my house sweater, which I will stand up a little bit to show you. I just finished taking pictures of it outside, which was a challenge today because it is incredibly windy here in Michigan. But ta-da! It's my house sweater. It has a total of 9 houses on it, so they're on the front and on the back because it is a personal pet peeve of mine when like the front of your sweater is really cute, but then the back there's nothing on it. So I designed this using a motif from Claire Goodale's book, Crochet Colorwork Made Easy. If you haven't picked up a copy, I highly suggest it. It's got lots of cute patterns. The houses were actually a motif from a pillow that she designed and which I have made. You can check out my Insta as well as like just past episodes of Yarn Chats to see that. And then I just designed the sweater as a bottom-up sweater. So I took the motif, I did some math, I figured out how many houses I wanted, and based on like how many stitches I would need for the length of the bottom of my sweater, made it from the bottom up, and it was a lot of fun. I also used some Oopsie skeins from Sewrella. So the teal color right here, this kind of like background color, as well as this blue, were all from Sewrella's Oopsie sale. They're actually about to have another one, I think. But these are just skeins that did not meet their requirements or what they were going for a particular colorway. And so they sell them in kind of coordinating grab bags. And I was very pleased with the way that these colors work together and kind of the haphazard nature that this sweater took shape because I only had one skein of each and just kind of crocheted until I saw how far it went. So this is my featured make this week. I don't have a pattern for this because it uses somebody else's work. But I will show you sometime in the future kind of how I make sweaters when I don't have a pattern, or maybe even take you through a pattern that someone else has written. I have a couple of fun whips this week, including something that was left over from this sweater. So one of the houses, and I'll push this up so you can see it, one of the houses has this pretty yarn from Wonderland. I always thought it looked like peacock feathers. And then this inside color I bought as a mini from my local yarn store. I think it is from Emma's Yarn, is the name of the company. But this flower is the same as these flowers. It's just made in a sock weight yarn instead of a worsted weight yarn. And I wanted to make sure that it would be sized down very easily. So I made 2 of them, and I think they're gonna become earrings. And I've got a couple of other colors left over from the sweater that they're just scraps. There's not a ton of things that I can make with them, but these take very, very little yarn. So I'm thinking about making earrings out of these. I also thought about maybe making a bunch of these and doing like a table runner, kind of the way that this is. So let me know what you think in the comments about what I should do. But I did 2 matching ones that I'm pretty sure are gonna become earrings. The next thing that I wanna show you, I showed you last week, and it looks like I haven't made a lot of progress on it, but I promise I have. This is a pattern I am testing for Janine Mudge from Capital Crochet on Instagram, and it is called the Troublemaker Pullover. It uses treble crochet stitches made in a circular yoke, and then I'm almost at the point where I'll split for the body and for the sleeves. The top is Wonderland. It's from a opposites attract kit from them. So it had a sport weight of this kind of lavender color, and then another sport thicker fingering weight of this kind of sparkly tonal, which is their unicorn base. And I knew when I started this that I wasn't gonna have enough to do the whole sweater and that it would be hard to find the same kit again. But I love it so much at the top that I still wanted to use it. And then I found this at my local yarn store yesterday, and this is from Malabrigo yarn. I think this one is called Anniversary, is the name of the colorway. But it looks so good with the Wonderland. Like, it's just so pretty. I looked at some Wonderland yarns, but there was just nothing that spoke to me the same way that the Malabrigo did. And I like mixing and matching from different companies. You get some very unique pairings this way. So the rest of the sweater will be this really fun color. And I still have a little bit of the sparkly unicorn base. So I'll still be doing the single crochet rows going down until I run out of this, and then the rest of it will be that. And I think it's going to be really pretty, and I really like the drape and the fabric of this. Janine writes a good pattern, and I'm very excited to wear this. It'll be short sleeved, and it's just going to be real cute. I'm pretty pumped about that, especially adding in that extra color. It just makes it more fun to work with. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is a pattern that I'm writing, which it has been a minute since I have written a pattern. I've got a couple patterns out that I wrote last year. There are 2 cowl patterns. One is called Cats in the Cowl, Cats in the Coffee Cowl, and it uses worsted weight minis, and it's really cute. And then I have another one called Wildflower Cowl, which also uses minis, but in a sport weight. There is a bag called Go Anywhere bag. That's a simple drawstring bag. It works well for like grabbing some yarn on the way to going somewhere, or books. And then I also have another one that is a cardigan cover up called Breezy Day cardigan that is written kind of as a recipe style. Anyway, if you want to check this out, you can find them on Etsy and Ravelry. But I haven't written any patterns this year, and I had this beautiful yarn from Wonderland that I knew I wanted to write a one skein shawl pattern for, and it is coming along really well. So this is the shawl so far. It's going to be a mini shawl. Obviously I'm not done with it yet, but it uses the linen stitch, which is one of my favorites, and then double crochet. So the whole shawl will be made using just chains, single crochet and double crochet, 3 stitches. And I really like the way that this yarn is working up into it. This is a silk barrette yarn, and it's crazy light. And the stitches that I'm using really let the yarn shine. I wanted to do something that was simple enough for a beginner pattern, but also something that would drape really nicely. And if you've got a fun variegated, it would also look cute in a single color yarn that you could make with just one skein. So this is something I'm working on. I love it. Scoot has already modeled it for me once and is very handsome in it. And I'm pumped about this. My goal is to write this, I don't know, within the next few weeks. But it's been fun to design and write a little bit more. I have been crazy busy with everything. So it is nice to get back into writing a little bit more. And this yarn is so much fun to work with. It's on Wonderland's Summer Silk base, and it feels a lot like linen, and it's just pretty and easy to use. So that's something I'm working on. I haven't decided on the name of it yet. I am waffling between just Summer Silk Scarf and For the Love of Linen. So if you have a vote, tell me in the comments what you think this should be called. Okay, those are my 2 big projects that I'm working on. But guys, I have a lot of yarn to show you. I think I told you at the end of the video last week that there was a fiber festival or a fiber expo that was happening in Ann Arbor that I was going to get to go to, and I did. I went both days and just had a ton of fun going to different vendors, checking out different bases of yarns that I hadn't seen before, and just being around other yarny people. It was a really fun excursion. I also got to take a yarn dyeing class, which I've never dyed yarn before, and that was a ton of fun, and I'll show you the yarn that I dyed as well, and I imagine that will be something that I will start doing more often because it was a ton of fun. But I say all that to say I've got a lot of yarn to show you. And the first bit of yarn I'm actually going to show you is not from the Fiber Expo, but it's from Aquarius Make. I showed you this skein, I think last time, flannel. It kind of looks like Scoot, who's over there chewing on a cow hoof. Beautiful neutral. So I got a couple more skeins from her, and you deserve to see them all. So the one that I got after I bought flannel is another neutral that I think that they will go well together. It's called Firewood. I'll let you see it kind of by itself. It's got the dark flecks, a little bit more of that honey or amber color in it, but it's beautiful. It's called Firewood. They're both on a sport weight base, so I'm thinking about doing something with them together, and also pulling it a little bit more of the black. There isn't as much of that color in this skein, but there's a little bit, or they might get used separately, but they're both really pretty. For someone who does not gravitate towards neutrals, like, these are both pretty fantastic neutrals, and I love them. The other skein that I got from Aquarius Make is not a neutral and is very much in my wheelhouse. This one is called Pier, and it kind of just reminds me of like Chicago in the summer, or maybe San Francisco on the pier, and it is beautiful. I'm trying to get it so it doesn't show up. There we go. Super bright. It's got kind of these deeper blues mixed in with some cream, and then just like little pops of coral. It is beautiful. It feels so soft, and I love it. I am about to start another pattern test for someone, and I think I might use this in it. Like maybe find a blue that pairs really well with it. I don't know, but it's the right weight for that project, and it's ridiculously pretty. So those are all from Aquarius Make. She has an Etsy shop where she sells her hand-dyed yarn. She's also doing a Ramadan wool club right now, and her colors are just absolutely fantastic. I will try to make sure that I put in the description a little bit about everything that I'm talking about today, because there is a lot of things and it can be hard to keep them all straight. Okay, so the next chunk is all from the Fiber Expo that I went to last weekend. So I'm going to start with some that are a similar base, which I have not played with before, but I'm very excited to. So the first two that caught my eye from Sheepish Creations are these beautiful skeins. They are fair trade hand spun silk, and each one of them has a little over 30 yards. I would say that this is probably, I don't know, a worsted or a chunky weight yarn. It's not listed on this what exactly the weight is, but probably, I would say leaning towards chunky, so like a weight 5. And I got 2 skeins of this. Have no idea what it will become. I kind of want to make some sort of a pouch with it, but I've also never used something that is this texture, so I want to make sure that whatever I do use, especially since I crochet and I don't knit, is that I have something where the stitches have enough flexibility that it doesn't just feel stiff with something that is this thick. But I absolutely love this color. I love everything about these. They're going to be fun to work with. I'll show you as I do this. They're from Sheepish Creations, and they were at the Fiber Expo that I went to. The next one, I'll just go ahead and show you the other 2 I bought from the same booth. So these are both from Sheepish Creations as well. And guys, it's another neutral. Like, can you even imagine me picking this many neutrals? But I have. This is a superwash merino and nep Aran weight yarn. So this is also a little bit thicker than a worsted. And it reminds me of like chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. Maybe I should be buying yarn based on desserts. Maybe I shouldn't. But I absolutely fell in love with this. This is another one that I'm not sure what it wants to become. Maybe some sort of like lightweight, well not lightweight, it's an Aran weight. Maybe some sort of a scarf or hat. I don't know, they're just really pretty colors together, and I love them. Each of these has 180 yards, so a little under 400 total to play with. We'll see what this becomes. They're just so pretty. Ah, they're pretty. So that is all from Sheepish Creations. The next one, I'm glad that I remember from the top of my head where I bought this one, because this one doesn't have a tag on it. This is from the Miller Girls, and these are made from sari silk. They all kind of have this yellow undertone, this kind of golden undertone with a bunch of other colors mixed in. It's similar to what I bought from Sheepish Creations. I would say that the one I got from the Miller Girls might be a little bit thicker maybe. But I bought 3 skeins of this because I've just never seen yarn like this. This is not something you will find at a big box store or anything like that. And it's just stunning looking at these together. This definitely needs to become something that I can wear, because I'm like, this color just looks good. It just looks good. It would look really good on. I don't know what these will become either. I also don't have yardage on these. They feel like they have a little bit more yardage than the purple skeins, but we'll see what these become. But they're so lovely. And yeah, I'm very excited to play with these. The next yarn that I got, I also bought a very cute sticker from this booth. This was actually from a yarn truck. I'll double check on the name of the yarn truck. But there were 2 yarn trucks that were there. So it's kind of like a food truck, except for it's a yarn store that you walk through. And they were both wonderful. I bought an African basket for one, and then I bought another, I bought yarn from the other one. So this one is from Hauteknit yarn. That's Haute knit yarn. And it is a color burst, which means all of the color is concentrated at one part of the hank. And this pretty like gray into like an acidy green, into an emerald green, into a purple. It was called Classic Captivation. This is on a merino silk yak blend. And if you've ever bought yak yarn before, you know that the colors are usually a little darker, a little bit moodier. And this one, I saw the same colorway dyed on a just a straight superwash merino yarn, and it was a lot brighter, but I just gravitated towards this. It's beautiful and stunning. And this is a DK weight yarn, so it would work really well for sweaters, hats, all sorts of things. Don't know what it will become, but it has a lot of potential. And then they also have these cute stickers. I'll hold it up over here. My husband saw this and was like, oh, that's cute. And I was like, what did you look at it though? Because this one is a ball of yarn and the mountains are all knitted. And that's just, you can't do better than that. That will probably end up on my laptop with all my other cool stickers. Guys, we've come to the part where I get to show you the yarn that I dyed. And I'm very excited about it. Look at it. Now granted, I am not a fantastic hank twister, but it's just so pretty, and it reminds me of spring, which I really hope comes back to Michigan soon. It's got a little bit of this apricot color is the name of the dye that I used, apricot, and I started with that color and I put it on a decent chunk of this skein, but as I added in the blue and the green, like you just see less and less of it. I also left some of the parts undyed, so there's still some white in here as well. We dyed these skeins using the acid dye method, so using citric acid to make sure that the yarn is absorbing the acid dyes, and it was a ton of fun. I think that everybody in the group that I was in had, we're all new. I think none of us had done it before, and it's just lovely and charming, and I am very excited that I made this. It's on a fingering weight, so I think there's about 400 yards in this, so plenty of yarn to play with, and I dyed it. I dyed it. It's lovely. So that is all of my yarn love. I told you that there was a lot today. I am now going to go on a yarn diet for a little bit because now I have plenty of things to play with and to keep me busy, and plenty of projects also to keep me busy. So yes, we are now winding down to the Can't Let It Go segment. And I think what I can't let go of this weekend or this week is just how our bodies react to stress, and how our immune systems react to being crazy busy and hectic. We had spring break a couple weeks ago, and then we came back to Michigan, and we're doing a ton of things with work and with social events, and my body was just tired, like not normal tired, but like sleeping for several hours, and like in the middle of the afternoon, and just exhausted from all of the things that we said yes to. So I wanted to take this moment to just remind you to take care of yourself, to take care of your body. We're now in flu season as well as dealing with COVID. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself, making sure that you're taking that time to relax, and I will see you next week. Bye guys.